there are some countries left behind in the race for AI. The AI everybody is doing is not intelligent, not even the intelligence of a mouse. In 1 year time, we will have something amazing, a new generation of AI will come. We must not educate children for jobs. We must educate children to learn how to learn and to be willing to learn.
CEO and founder of AnotherBrain, Mr. Bruno Maisonnier, is joining me here today. Welcome.
Hello, Hannah.
You have just been in a panel talking about sharper tech, safer world. What are the main conclusions?
Oh, there were different technologies spoken about. And my point was that there are some countries left behind in the race for AI, and those countries have better to jump to the next generation instead of trying to run after the giants who are richer, more powerful, smarter, and so on. So no way to catch them up. So the only possibility is to change the game and to go to the next generation. And it is exactly what we are doing in our company, a next generation of AI inspired by the brain. So really totally different kind of AI. And then countries that are supporting us and following us will be part of this next generation jump.
Your company pioneered in something called neuro-inspired AI. Tell us about it.
Everybody knows about AI. We are in a world where AI is everywhere. But actually, the AI everybody is doing is not intelligent. It's statistics, a lot of statistics, and it's giving good results, helping a lot of things. But there is no intelligence here inside at all, not even the intelligence of a mouse, really. And it's consuming huge quantity of data, huge power. So it's a problem, this power consumption. But if you look at your brain, you are consuming 5 watts for intelligence part, 5 watts, which is nothing to do at the same time the training, the learning, and then using your intelligence. So why not to look at how it's working in the brain and trying to do the same? So the first answer of everybody is, but we don't know how it's working in the brain. But that's not true. We know many things. We don't know everything, of course, but we know far enough to be able to reproduce and to do an AI working the same way as the brain. It's what we are doing at AnotherBrain.
So when do you expect the neuro-inspired AI to be ready for application?
We had our first demonstrator ready last July. So we think we will be ready mid of 2026 and ready then to go and to implement it on the chip. So it's a question of 1 year, let's say. In 1 year time, we will have something amazing. A new generation of AI will come.
You have just mentioned that you don't find the current AI intelligent enough. There's obviously this big concern about so much misinformation.
There's a principle of this AI. It's not intelligence, no intelligence processes. It's just statistics. And when you make statistics, you pick a huge quantity of data, and then you can make statistics. But then you have the problem of being sure that these data are true, that these data are correct, this data doesn't have any bias, and which is a huge problem of AI, of course.
Can we build systems that can be reliable to spot bias, to spot those mistakes?
People are trying to do that, but it's very difficult because you are training the system, trying to get whether this other AI system is wrong or not. But maybe this one is wrong. Maybe the watchdog is not the good one. So it's very difficult to get there. So I think it's not possible to be comfortable with that. We have to figure out another way of doing AI.
You're a European company. Europe is known to have systems that protect us, but are also stopping or slowing down innovation. How do you find the right balance between...
You are perfectly right. No, there is no fine balance. The power and the weakness of Europe is we are 27 countries. So that means if you want to make a decision, you only can do rational decision. If it's not a rational one, then you will have one country that will say no and explain why. So the only possibility is to make rational decision. European is so scared of risk. We have two main constraints. Probably. They don't want to run any risk, so we are losing based on that. And the second thing is, the people who are driving Europe, the politicians, are no more engineers. We have lawyers, we have politicians, pure politicians, and they don't know what they're speaking about. So it's very difficult to have your own opinion. So you have to listen to others, but you don't know which one is telling the truth if you don't have yourself the ability, expertise to be critic to the other. So a lot of constraint in Europe. So that's why Europe is not going very fast and not very well nowadays.
I've heard you speak before that you expect about 70% of traditional jobs to be taken away with AI expansion. What will be hit the sharpest, in your opinion?
Two things. First of all, it's not a problem. It's not dramatic.
It does sound dramatic.
No, but that's why I start with this answer. What is the percentage of our life, our whole life, spent in our job? Around 15%. Because we are not starting our job before 20, 25, and we are stopping at 75, 77, 65, 67, depending on the countries. But in between, we have some holidays. In between, we are not working 100 hours a week. So altogether, we are now around 15%. We were at 60%, 60, in early 19th century. So we've been down from 60% down to 12 to 15. In France, it's 12. And in parallel with that, we've learned to do much many. So it's going to happen. We will have this trend continuing. And yes, I'm absolutely sure AI will replace 70% of the jobs. I'm sure new jobs will be created, but not in the same proportion. Altogether, maybe 20% of new jobs will be created. Altogether, we will divide the work needed by half.
We're here in Tokyo for the FII Priority Summit. What is it you would like to take away from Tokyo with you?
Oh, I love Tokyo. I love Japan. Japan has a culture of process. That means building something, creating the process, and then improving the process. So they took the whiskey, and then after years, they created the best whiskey in the world. And for the cars, and for the cameras, so this is how Japan is working.
Precision.
Yeah. The problem of that, it's a slow process. And now the world is going very, very fast. So they are one of the countries left behind with AI. So I think they don't have how, the same than France, they don't have how to catch up with American or Chinese in AI, because the other are more powerful, richer, larger, and already in advance. So the only possibility to catch up is actually to jump and to go to the next generation directly. They can do that, and we can do that together.
So what would that be? What would the leapfrogging be?
We want to create a chip that will be put inside the sensors, that will be put inside the cars, inside the computers, the robots, to turn them really intelligent, real intelligence. And I think Japan is needing that for question of helping aging population, for question of robotics in the industry, for all these questions. They absolutely need that. And I think we need it to do that together.
When you talk about the rapid change, do you think the educational system is following it? Are we preparing the next generation for it well enough?
I think it's a huge problem. I have many children, let's say. I have 7. So that means I'm concerned by their education, how, where, and which kind of jobs. And I think it's difficult because AI will take over all the
traditional jobs?
Not the traditional, but the beginners. Because they are not as efficient as seniors that are really expert. But then if we don't have beginners, we won't have seniors and expert in the next 10, 15 years. So I think we have a huge problem here. No, I don't think educational systems are doing that correctly and are following at the correct speed.
Would you go a step further and say that we are educating children for jobs that won't necessarily exist when they grow up?
Absolutely sure about that. I think we must not educate children for jobs. We must educate children to learn how to learn, and to be willing to learn, to giving them interest in learning new things and how to learn new things. I love learning new things, and this is a powerful driver, but we need to teach them that. We need to give them this driver and how to learn things.
Why do you think the system is not adapting?
Because things are going so fast that you have to try yourself. I'm sure you tried the ChatGPT and the others. Like everybody, we did some small things and we tried just to try. So it's not enough to know how to use the system. I'm sure a lot of teachers tried, but we didn't change the educational system. We didn't change the programs in order to make it at the core of, and even in my company, we are using AI, but every month a new system is showing up. So how to do that? I cannot invest on a new one, and the time to invest and to train my people, another one is coming here. So I absolutely need to rely on them trying, everyone alone, and so it's a system we have to build.
But overall, are you optimistic about all those changes and innovations that are coming along?
I'm absolutely optimistic because it's what humankind is very good at. Since the fire, each time we invented things, we got problems. How many people have had problems thanks to invention of fire, let's say? And what humankind is very good at is to put the feedback and the constraints in order to get positive outcome from things more than negative ones. So the same will happen. And we are going to learn from those bad things, but we will have some bad things happening from internet, we are seeing that already, but from AI, from robotics, from genetic engineering after tomorrow, because it will be the next big thing, far huger than AI and other things. This will change the world.
What are you talking about specifically?
Genetic engineering, when everybody will be able to buy in a store a spray of retroviruses, and with this spray it will change your DNA. You want to be more robust, resist more to stress or to breathing less under the water, whatever. One day we will be able to engineer our DNA in order to get those kind of things. Then you will have humanities that won't be even compatible. So, but this will happen in the next 20 years. So an AI will boost and help going faster. And it will start by the defense teams, militaries, who will start, as they already started during World War II, boosting their soldiers to be more resistant, stronger. So it will happen.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.